The 2021 PFL playoffs kick off tomorrow with PFL 7, and combatodds.ca has you covered for best bets for the prelims and main card. What's up, everybody? My name is Al Mack from combatodds.ca. There's no UFC this weekend, but we're blessed with a PFL playoff card as well as Bellator 264, which we'll also be breaking down on this channel. All right, so make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow along on social media on all platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even on TikTok, and hit up combatodds.ca. Get all the free picks there, betting breakdowns for all the upcoming combat sports betting events, and use the StreamYard link. If you use StreamYard or you want to use StreamYard, this stream is supported by StreamYard. Get money off your membership, support them, and support combatodds.ca while doing so. Okay, first and foremost, I just need to bring something up. Thanks to everybody who came and interacted for the Q&A and the live weigh-in reaction live streams over the past month or so. And it was super fun, and I'll be doing those again soon. But I realized with the way that YouTube works, until I get to 1,000 subscribers, it honestly is a little bit counterproductive to be doing those 1 to 2 hour live streams. I get a far greater reach by doing these shorter little videos, shorter little live streams. So once we're over that 1,000 mark, we'll be doing live streams all the time. But for now, I'm probably just going to be doing these short videos and maybe do a longer extended live stream for the big pay-per-view events. But with that being said, I'll be breaking down the PFL 7 card and Bellator 264 on combatodds.ca and the Combat Odds HQ YouTube channel. So stay tuned to that. We're about 24 hours out from the events, so we got some time to do some last-minute cramming before placing those bets. So let's get right into it. PFL 7, the 2021 PFL playoffs kick off tomorrow with PFL 7. It goes down Friday, August 13th, tomorrow, from the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. The event is headlined by former Bellator welterweight champion Rory MacDonald as he takes on the 2019 PFL welterweight champion Ray Cooper III in the PFL welterweight semifinals. Rory MacDonald opened as the -210 betting favorite here when this fight was announced about 2 months ago. However, money has since poured in on Ray Cooper, making the line in this fight a virtual coin flip, with MacDonald now about the -115 favorite and Cooper the +105 underdog. All right, let's get right into it. Ray Cooper III, he's 9-2-1 since coming into PFL in 2018. 8 of his 9 wins have come by way of stoppage. A $100 bettor who has backed Cooper on the money line in his entire PFL career has turned a profit of plus $1,242. Meanwhile, Rory MacDonald, he's 4-3-1 since his 2017 Bellator debut, with 2 of his last 3 losses coming by way of decision. A $100 bettor who has backed Rory MacDonald's opponent on the decision prop since he went to Bellator in 2017 has turned a profit of $560 in that stretch. So in this fight, I think the best way to back Cooper in this spot is just on that straight up money line, folks. While Cooper has a very high finish rate, Rory MacDonald is very durable. We all know that famous photo of his face from the Robbie Lawler fight. And so he could really easily take a 15-minute loss just by taking a 15-minute beating. So, if you're backing Ray Cooper here, I think your best bet is to take him on the money line. Now, if you're backing Rory MacDonald in this one, you're better off taking him on the money line as well. MacDonald has gone the distance in 5 of his last 8 fights. And, he did have an impressive stoppage victory over Chris Millender in his PFL debut. Rather than taking a chance at picking the method of victory, the current price of -120 at 5 Dimes or other online sports books on that money line it's honestly probably the best bet for McDonald backers. So if you want my best bets for this PFL 7 main event, hit up the Patreon. The link is in the description. Okay, so let's move on to the co-main event. This one is super interesting. Sadi Busai, the Swede, coming in against the Russian Magomed Kirimov. Magomed Kirimov is 9-0 in the PFL with 5 of his 9 wins coming by way of stoppage. $100 better who has backed Magomed Kirimov on the money line since his 2018 PFL debut has turned a profit of $487 so far in his career. Sadi Busai, he's 3-3 since making his 2018 PFL debut. I think he's got 1 no contest in there and 2 draws. 5 of his 9 fights have gone the distance. The over has gone 6-2-1 for just over a unit profit across his 9 PFL appearances. Okay, so in this one, co-main event best bets. If you're backing Magomed Kirimov in this fight, it's the inside the distance prop at -155. Magomed Kirimov has stoppage wins in 4 of his 6 PFL fights. And when you're betting down a favorite from -650 to -155, you're looking for a fighter with stopping ability, and this Russian undoubtedly has that. If you're backing Sai here, your best bet is to take him on the straight up money line at +550. Considering the betting total is reduced to just 1.5 rounds, I think if you're backing the Swede here, if you have a vested interest in the Swede here, I think you might have a case for also betting the over 1.5 rounds prop at that current price of -120. If he can survive against the Russian, it's just another good way to back him, because I think the only way that he wins this fight is probably by knocking Magomed Kirimov out. Otherwise, I think this is just a foregone conclusion. And if you're backing the Russian, I think that inside the distance prop at -155, if you think about it, -650 favorite, I like him. I like him at that -155 price. Okay, now we move on to the lightweights. Clay Collard against Raush Manfio, lightweight semifinal. Collard is 2-0 in the PFL, with both of his wins in the PFL in 2021 coming by way of decision. He's turned a profit of +12.5 units on the decision prop with, he cashed at considerable odds to defeat the former UFC lightweight champion Anthony Pettis by decision in his PFL debut. Raush Manfio, same story, 2-0 in the PFL with both of his wins coming by way of decision. He's turned a profit of 6.3 units on the to win by decision prop, with a shocking upset decision over Anthony Pettis in his own right. So basically, the best way to back Clay Collard here in this position up until basically just a few hours before I made this video was on the money line. The money line was at -155. Not pretty steep, but still in my ballpark, in the range that I'm worth playing. Now, money has come in on this crossover boxing MMA fighter Collard, and now he sits in that -180, -175 range across the board. So one thing I'll say, considering both of Collard's fights have gone the distance, even against, the highest level in competition like Anthony Pettis. Now, is Anthony Pettis the guy that he once was? No, obviously not. But still, I think Pettis is a good test for this guy who, went over to boxing and fared pretty well at back-to-back decision losses and then transitioned back to MMA. He even had a fight. I think he's had like 1 or 2 fights during the pandemic, pro boxing fights. But this guy's good. It's hard to deny, but this guy's good. And I think you can probably bank on this one going the distance. I think Collard by decision at +140, perhaps. I think that's a decent wager. However, there is a slight chance that Collard picks up the stoppage here over Manfio. And if you're backing Manfio, I think the best way is probably just on the straight up money line. He's currently lined at plus 155. You're getting as high as plus 250 on the decision for the Brazilian, but you're leaving yourself open to get middled, because if Manfio's manages to pull off this submission somehow, working from his guard, I think that would be a brutal way to lose. So this guy's jiu-jitsu is pretty good. I don't think he's got I don't think his stand-up matches at all with Collard. So it's basically Collard's fight to win. But I'll say the most likely path to victory for this fight is probably Collard by decision. Okay, the opener of the prelims, and this is a fight I've had circled for quite a while, and now I've done pretty much a full 180 on my position. Loik Radzibov coming in against Alex Martinez. Radzibov is 3-1 in the PFL with 2 wins by decision and his most recent win by stoppage. And then all 3 of his PFL losses have come by way of decision. All but one of his PFL appearances have gone the distance. Aleksandar Martinez, 1-1 in the PFL, with his only win being a controversial decision win over Radzibov in the opening matchups of the 2021 PFL regular season. This is a very, very interesting matchup. I think as far as the best bets go, depending on which side you're coming in on, I think the best way to back Radzibov in this fight is probably on the to win by decision prop at plus 135. Radzibov has, he was a minus 145 favorite earlier this week, but he's since moved to that minus 180, minus 175 range. He just has 1 stoppage to his name in PFL, and Martinez has never been stopped in his career. So although you're getting juicy, I think plus 300 odds on Radzibov to win inside the distance, I think the most likely path to victory for this guy is by decision. If you're backing Aleksandar Martinez in this matchup, I think you can't go wrong with that current price of plus 155 on the straight up money line. Martinez has gone the distance in both of his PFL appearances, but all 6 of his wins outside of the PFL have come by way of stoppage. I think instead of rolling the dice here, picking the method of victory, I think you get peace of mind and also peace of money on that money line with a decent plus money price. Okay, so let's talk predictions for the overall PFL playoffs, just with this bracket here in the lightweight and the welterweights. Okay, so Rory MacDonald, Ray Cooper. Now I'm just gonna kind of forecast how this breaks down. I believe, Ray Cooper and Magomed Kirimov have fought, and I think they were supposed to meet once in 2018, and one of them was injured, and that fight was canceled. I believe the Russian was injured and couldn't fight in the first scheduled meeting, and then in the second scheduled meeting, I believe for the PFL finals in 2019, Magomed Kirimov won. So let's just, if for argument's sake, Rory MacDonald loses, Ray Cooper advances, Magomed Kirimov, Ray Cooper the third. That's a great fight. I'm super into that, but honestly, I don't know. I think that Ray Cooper would have to have leveled up significantly to get past this Russian, because Magomed Kirimov is just, he's unreal, and 9-0 in the PFL. I think he's gonna get through this Swede pretty easily. And I'm not gonna say that it's a foregone conclusion that Ray Cooper loses, but I heavily favor the Russian in that matchup. As far as If Rory MacDonald advances and faces the Russian, that's a super interesting fight. Just because of the betting line, I still think the Russian's favored though, but we might be able to get a really juicy line on him just because of perception. Perception versus reality. I feel like we might be able to get Magomed Kurimov at like minus 250. Maybe I'm way off here, but Rory versus this Russian, very interesting fight. But I gotta side with the Russian, and then something that I think is a foregone conclusion, and I'll be absolutely stunned if Sadi Busai gets through Magomed Kurimov on Friday night. So as far as that bracket goes, I definitely favor Magomed Kurimov to get it done to pick up the welterweight championship here. And then the lightweight championship, Clay Collard, I think he's going to get through Hausman Fio here. I definitely think, in my opinion, he probably wins this fight 7 out of 10 times. So I'm going to slot him in. And then this is my main event. I got to tell you, the lightweight bout, like Radzibov and Aleksandar Martinez, very interesting. As good as Martinez is, I feel like if he gets into a stand-up war with Clay Collard, he would be in some trouble, because Collard is just a special dynamic striker. And then Lloyd Radzibov, he's just like he's just that Russian in kind of Sambo style, is kind of just like that. So it's very square style boxing. It works though. He's very, very aggressive, but he's also had a problem just like trying to maul guys, but not throwing hands. So his low volume has hurt him. I think that's kind of what hurt him against Aleksandar Martinez. He had him on the ground, but he wasn't throwing. He wasn't throwing as much as he should have been. So I think that's why they gave that fight to Martinez. This is a very interesting matchup. I think two paths to this tournament basically depends on the way that this matchup breaks down. I'm going to slot Clay Collard in the final. I'm going to say, just for sake of argument, I feel like Loic has a good chance against Clay Collard. That's a bad matchup, I feel like, for Clay Collard. Loic, depending on if he's taking the fight seriously, he hits like a truck, man. He's super tough. His wrestling, his grappling, especially against the fence, is high level. I've heard him say stuff like he doesn't like to watch tape, or he doesn't watch tape. He doesn't game plan for opponents. He fights the same way for every fighter that he faces. And I don't like hearing that at all, but it's worked for him, up until a certain point. But again, 3-1 in the PFL. This guy's got a lot of hype around him, but he's not, I feel like he's fought under the expectations quite a bit. And then Alex Martinez, man, 8-1, and he kind of stunned the world a little bit with that win over Radzibov. So the way that against Clay Collard, I think Loic wins if he advances against Martinez, and then against Clay Collard, I think Alex Martinez might have some trouble just against that. That's just that dynamic striking of Clay Collard. But again, I'm not saying that the fight's not going to go to the mat. It could. And Martinez has good wrestling. He's got super good jiu-jitsu, especially off his back. I think pretty much that's what won him the fight in the matchup with Radzibov in the opening matchup of the PFL regular season. So yeah, I think that's how it comes down. It's hard to call. It's hard to forecast. I will say, on the welterweight side, Magomed Kurimov. On the welterweight side, slot him in as a champ. I think he's gonna get it done. I would favor him heavily against either Rory or Ray Cooper. And then it's a triple threat basically. I would probably favor Radzibov. I don't know if I'm crazy. I would probably favor Radzibov against Clay Collard. And I think that Clay Collard would be the favorite against Martinez. Maybe be a coin flip Radzibov against Clay Collard. And then I think Clay Collard would be like a minus 150 favorite against Martinez. All right. That is it. Did a good 20 minutes here. This is the best bets. Best bets video for combatodds.ca. The free picks that are all for, I got 7 free picks, and then I got about 6 best bets. If you want all the best bets, patreon.com/combatodds HQ. I'm going to be putting out breakdown videos for all the fights on the main cards. And then we had 2 fights that have changed now. So now T-Bow is no longer fighting Chris Millender. He's fighting Micah Terrell. And then Umalatov, the Russian, that dangerous Russian, he's now fighting Leonard Silva. So I'm going to try to break that down. Super short notice, but I got a little bit of a look on them. So yeah, if you want my best bets for PFL 7, as well as I'm going to be pretty much here all night because we're going to be breaking down Bellator 264. Okay. Talk to you later, guys. Thanks for watching.